But that was pretty close. That was a pretty close. I thought that was humorous.
There's
So
nothing funny
congratulations,
about
you're proving me
letting dogs out. I can
it's
say
one of those
that as a
things-
dog sitter.
I think it's one of those things where it was just a black hole of humor for a while, and now that it's been years.
By the way, we're
You
live,
I
guys.
don't think it's
hello,
not,
everybody.
Okay.
Hey,
I'm
Well,
going to find
let's
a
ask-
clip
let's
of
ask the
Doctor
viewers
Who
at home,
letting
huh?
the dogs go.
what do you think? Are Who
And-
Let the
and
Dogs
that's gonna
Out
be-
jokes still funny in 2021? Or did they go through a dark period where they stopped being funny and came back?
I think
We
okay,
really
let
need
me
to
word
figure
it
this
this
out.
way. Let me word it this way, though.
All right.
I'm saying that absolutely nothing of cultural value has stemmed from Who Let the Dogs Out. It just
True.
could just be gone, and we would lose no really great jokes. Nothing.
Okay.
I think it's just
I think I
Sure.
agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, you're
yeah.
just slandering the Baja men now. I'm afraid I have to.
You're
conscientiously
biased
object.
against Baja.
well, no. Listen. I will always give them this. They can move their body like this, and they can move their body like that, and like you can't deny that. I can't deny it.
They can do
But
both of
can
those
they
things.
move like their juke? Nobody can move
I
like
doubt
their
it.
juke.
I doubt
Remember
it.
when everyone was doing the juke and breaking their hips?
I used to own a juke.
Did you move
Did you
like
move
it?
like it?
Well, I guess when I was in it and I drove it.
Oh,
So
no.
does
We're
that
talking about
mean
the
that-
phone.
No. It's a phone, okay?
Oh. No, I'm talking about my car.
The juke flipped. It flipped open like on a hinge,
Like a
sideways,
switchblade.
like a switchblade. And the ad for it was like guys dancing, and with the song "Watch Me Move Like My Juke." Watch me move, and don't. They had to take them off. They had to take those off the air because people were moving like their jukes and just breaking their spines.
But that hinge was the juke joint,
Based on a true
right?
story.
Because I've heard about those.
Oh, really? No.
That was a pun.
No, you-
That was a pun.
He bought it. He bought it.
You joked me. You joked and japed and jested, and now
you
I'm
juked
all
me.
japed.
I know a Jersey
Your
juke is
juke
apparently
jape-
when you
Yeah,
when you like make a right turn through a gas station to avoid the
The
car
light.
pile up.
The arrow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've actually done that once.
Apparently that's called a Jersey juke.
All right. We've learned today.
And is that just an
valuable lesson.
accented word for jerk?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Jersey
what accent?
jerk.
Something like doing
Juke.
an end run.
I can't quite
The
make that work.
Jersey joke.
Hey, welcome. You're
I think it's
watching fan
Australian.
fiction theater, believe it or not. Spitfire
the
thought the Jersey
fanfictioneers.
juke was going to be something perverse, but we're keeping
It's
it
probably
clean.
that too. Might also be
A little bit
racist.
cleaner.
I don't know.
Who knows? Who
You're
knows?
all wrong. It's a cryptid.
Oh, Kitty informs us it is actually a cryptid.
The
Jersey
Jersey
juke.
juke.
I saw him. I saw him. He
Godzilla
was cutting
versus
through the
Jersey
corner
juke.
through a gas station.
I think I saw a
was in a
Discovery
battle
Channel
with
special
Gritty.
about the Jersey juke.
Yeah,
Does Gritty count as a cryptid?
No,
I think so.
Gritty
I
is a
think so.
comrade. Gritty is
Gritty is a
fantastic.
Is
cryptid.
Gritty a kaiju?
Just being a cryptid doesn't make you evil.
Makes it cryptic.
That's-
Gnomic,
that's
perhaps?
Good and gentle and the friend of all children.
All right, I'm Tristan from Quip Tracks. Also from Quip Tracks is Tracy.
Shh. I'm hiding.
Did you just shush me for introducing you?
No, I'm. Yes, I am Tracy from Quip Tracks. You caught me.
We've got Kevin from Quip Tracks
I do.
and Quinn from Quip Tracks.
Yo,
And we've got Michael T. Bradley from Ice on Mars.
Hello, everybody.
And
Ice on Mars, not mice on Mars. You said mice on Mars.
Either's fine.
And those are biker mice too. Like you're
They're both-
mixing everything up.
Biker
They're
mice
both
on Mars.
rare and precious. That's what I was going for.
it doesn't look like we've got Drew in the Discord right now. You might notice down below there's other way. That way. There's a donate at ko-fi.com/quiptracks. I'm not actually sure. Is that a button? No, you can't click on that.
No,
Don't try to
you
click
can't.
on it on the screen. It's just
It
there
made
to
me
let you
sad when
know.
I tried.
Yeah. Maybe there's a Twitch extension that we could actually put on there, but that's what Ko-Fi gave us. If you make a donation there, now it'll like pop up.
Isn't
that
it pronounced
donated
coffee
there.
though?
You know,
That's a coffee
they
cup.
should have spelled it
Pronounce
in a
whatever
not
your
stupid way.
imagination.
Yeah, I always pronounce it Ko-Fi like Wi-Fi because they've got the
Of course,
dash.
it could be
Wi-Fi in
co-fee
there.
because you're helping pay the fee.
I would have said Kofi.
Sure,
Oh, like a
it's like a
Ko-fi.
co-payment.
And I don't know if you can actually give to ours, but there's the Ice on Mars one. I am apparently
Okay.
60% through setting it up, but I'm
Okay.
not sure what I have
Gotcha.
to do yet.
It does always say buy a coffee for X. Yes, it does. That was absolutely their intent, but somebody else already got to buymeacoffee.com, so they had to like put their own weird spin on it.
It is in
Yeah.
fact run by Kofi Annan, which is quite
Oh.
impressive.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow, that
I
makes
made
Why
that
can't
joke in the
spell.
Discord.
Yeah, from his Auntie's coffee shop.
Somebody already said
You made
that.
it in the private Discord though, so
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, take that, you so and so. I win.
okay.
All
You
right.
snooze, you lose, Michael.
Now it's going
Um,
on to the books as their joke. So
We're gonna
Sorry.
do a little bit of dessert before dinner here and have party time right at the front.
Just like an inverse mullet.
Yeah. It's long in the front. Party in the
right.
front.
It's party
business in
in
the
the
back.
front.
Yeah.
That was like the
Caught on to it
90s
eventually.
look.
Yeah.
That was a big thing in the 90s. Like on the CW, everybody had backwards mullets, and I always thought it was an odd look.
I guess that's one way to describe it. Yeah.
Oh, like that chick that comes out of the TV
Jesse.
in the ring.
you're in this.
Yeah.
Should
All
should
right.
I start, by the way, or are you
Yeah.
doing some other things too?
Okay. Spitfire says Drew couldn't make it on the Discord. Good to know. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I
I didn't see that.
yeah,
either.
I'm gonna try. I know I'm terrible at reading the chat while I'm doing this, especially when I'm reading narration.
Yeah,
but
I
like-
try to I try to take over as much as I can during Pokemon, but
Yeah, but like last week, we started the stream and immediately Kitty said, "Echo, there's an echo. You're echoing," like 3 posts in a row, and I looked directly at it. I saw it. I was like, okay,
yeah, that
chat's
post is echoing.
good, chat's working. Did not actually read any of the words. She had
You're
to
on
like come
fire.
out of her room and yell at me to my face. So I'm trying to get better at that. But right now it's party time.
Oh,
excellent.
Heck yeah, brother.
All right. Today, everyone in town is throwing a party for the whole Prescott family, which means that Libby will get to meet her grandfather, James Prescott Sr., and her conboy of a cousin, Julian.
What's
Is that like
Because
a
he's a
young
young con man. Yeah, that's what I
got a great
assume.
big convoy.
Is that a character from the show, Trace?
Yes, her
Okay.
cousin shows up every now and
I
then.
liked
and
the
causes
harmony there. That was nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Along with Milagro's adopted family that ran a circus called El Circo dos Grillos, Libby loved the circus so much.
So
Okay.
much.
Billy thought that
Oh my gosh!
sentence was
So
going to do more.
can I just about this circus?
Okay.
This does happen in the show. Her dead mother was part of a traveling circus, and all
While she
3
was
main
dead?
characters for
She was the main
Well,
attraction.
She was in the freak show.
It's kind of like it's like a macabre kind of
Like
thing.
the Bones of the Elephant Man kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
But they actually anyway. So all three girls, like in the middle of the series, learned how to do insane circus tricks, flipping all over the place, and then they swung all over and flipped around the town, putting up posters, and they were doing these amazing stunts on their horses. And after that storyline, they could never do it. They couldn't do anything anymore.
They just went back to being
Gotcha.
the same pathetic.
And having the same physical limitations.
Did like one of them get in the mouth of a lion? Because I would have liked that. That seems good.
So in other words,
They're not
they
gonna
knew
model a
that circuses were entirely a hoax.
That one was non-canon. It's like
they should have
Voyager's
just had
Threshold.
them sprain something or break something.
By the way,
we
never
were cut
swing
out
on
for
a
the
track
circus.
Griot's means
Yeah.
the circus of two crickets. In other words, nobody liked it. They do something, and ta-da! Cricket chirp, cricket chirp.
Cricket chirp. The end.
Lucky made sure
Okay.
to warn Libby about Julian since he might try and con her by being nice along with twisting his words. All right.
That bastard.
Twist his own words.
Yeah. By the way, Misha
Libby.
is genuinely glad to have someone here to provide rich background context
Wow.
for Spirit writing free.
That makes me feel important.
I
Wait
doubt
till we
he'll
get to
do
the
anything with
academy.
grandfather here.
Libby said to Lucky she would be careful just in case Julian tried to trick her.
Maybe you're right.
Lucky replied with
Maybe
a
you're
smile.
right. It's
Right,
opposite of your left.
Yeah, it's like
Who's to
implied.
say?
Maybe you're right versus your left. But
Maybe it's your right to be conned.
Lucky replied with a smile. Since Julian would be coming with their grandfather, he wouldn't be able to con anyone. Okay.
Oh.
So basically, threat neutralized.
Yeah.
We
can make it-
Sorry we brought it
I
up.
don't know.
Is the grandfather like a Texas Ranger or something, maybe?
Well, yeah, he's actually Walker. He's played by Chuck Norris in the show. Didn't you know this?
No. All right, Kate. Who's Kate?
Yeah, I mean,
Who was Kate?
Oh, that was me.
Oh yeah, you were Kate.
Not Kitty,
Yeah.
it was
Oh.
Kate.
Oh my god.
Hold on, let me.
I thought I died.
Only every other story.
Okay.
Sorry, I had the mic pointing in a weird way.
This one?
Yeah.
Lucky Libby, time to go.
Kate called to the twins. The girls raced down the stairs in their dresses, green for Lucky and purple for Libby.
All right.
Sorry, I have so many
every line is a
ads.
sentence.
Jim, Kate, and the kids met up. It's like the past 3 paragraphs have started with quotes, and I just thought this one was going to follow suit, despite what my eyes told me. Jim, Kate, and the kids met up with Cora, Prue, and Abigail in town.
Julian tried to con Turo.
This chapter should have been called Julian the Conboy. Prue told Lucky she sighed at her cousin's antics.
But your grandfather caught him.
Abigail added. Libby shook her head.
See? Julian won't do anything.
Libby told Lucky. She smiled at her sister.
Julia's gonna pull out a gun and shoot Libby right near the heart.
Yeah.
Like, I could see it coming. Mile away.
Jim walked back with his father and nephew.
Dad, Julian, meet Libby.
Jim said to them, James Sr. and Julian looked at Libby to inspect the young girl.
Oh.
Never a good
No.
string of words.
Oh, we need Julian.
So we need
Who
somebody
wants
to
to be
be
a
a conboy.
conboy?
Conboy. Okay, I'll just start doing
Do it.
it. Libby really is your twin, isn't she, RF?
is RF like real fine or something? Like, is that like how
Well,
the
we're
kids say
about
it?
to. We're about
Read on,
to
read on.
understand.
Oh, got it. Okay. Julian commented. Lucky explained that RF is the nickname that she'd gotten due to her name meaning luck.
Wait, lucky means luck?
How does RF mean luck, though? Okay.
Because in the olden
because
days of
it's
TV,
a Spanish version, isn't it?
Yeah.
when you're trying to tune RF, it took
But
a lot of
I don't
luck.
understand what
Okay.
they're saying here. She has
I
a
think-
Spanish name.
I think
Misha's
RF
got it,
is
yeah.
the
Yeah.
I think RF is the chemical symbol for it. You know, like Fe is
Chemical
iron.
symbol for
Oh,
luck.
for
Yeah.
luck.
Yeah. Misha says real
James, we-
fucking lucky. That's yeah.
James Senior.
The,
Oh,
the
this is
grandfather
okay.
that is going to keep the convoy.
to see you again.
James Sr. said with a smile. He hugged Libby and she returned it.
Take it back. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Libby replied to them. As the day turned to night, everyone was having fun chatting, playing games, eating or dancing, but soon it was time for the real show to begin. El Circo dos Grillos had just finished their performance, then started setting up the stage.
Gurlos. It's Gurlos now.
Oh, sorry, yeah, okay. Damn, I was having so much fun. El Circo dos Grillos had just finished their performance, then started setting up the stage
circus of
filled with
girls.
some instruments that 5 girls were going to play. Whether they liked it or not,
Play a game.
the pals got everyone's attention as they stood up on a stage.
See, it's fun because there's only 3 instruments. They call it musical instruments.
How many
Fun.
stages are there? Because they're
Too
on
many.
a stage, but we're not
It's like
specifying which.
it's like Decadence,
Up on
where
a
they
stage.
have like 5 stages around the crowd. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I got that wrong, but
Warped to
Who is-
that. Anyway,
whose
I
line is
believe
it?
Jesse is Prue, right? Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We're gonna play a song for everyone.
Prue announced happily. Everyone
Except you in
cheered.
the second row. Out.
Pieces of shit.
this ain't for you.
But first, we need Maricela to join us on stage, please. I thought they were on
Libby-
stage. I thought everyone was on the stage.
You're overthinking it.
Well, not Maricela.
Maricella's
she's-
not.
She's the one that
Okay,
they're
she's not a
jerk to
pal.
and won't let hang
Okay.
out with them.
Right. Libby called out. The girl in question was shocked.
Me?
Maricela asked, pointing to herself.
That's right.
Abigail replied cheerfully. Wait, no, that works with an exclamation point. Sorry. Abigail
Sorry,
replied
like a
cheerfully.
column.
Maricela got onto the stage and stood next to Libby.
Lucky.
We hope you enjoy the show.
Lucky said with a smile. Now here comes Up from Star Darlings, which God only knows what that is.
And it's
What is
all
that?
5 girls.
Not even
Oh,
God.
boy.
Let's
saw
try to
that.
figure out what it is. Okay, well let's trade off like stanzas.
Yeah. I can hear you whisper
Okay.
even though we're talking low. Catching every word, but I'm just gonna let 'em go. Oh, just let 'em go.
Taking every arrow you've been aiming at my heart and spin them all around and turn them shooting stars. And turn them shooting stars.
Oh, shooting stars, gonna give it all that I got, shining when they tell me to stop. I'm a girl on a mission, making wishes, living out my dream. You can try to steal me air. Don't try to steal me air. I'm not going anywhere but up.
Back, matey, you're stealing my ear.
There's no chance this is not better than the original
we've
song.
got,
Thank you.
I also wanted to point out that Spitfire said earlier, "Meet Libby, the kid I forgot I had."
Right. Where were we? Up anywhere but up. Yeah, just take it. Up anywhere but up.
Anywhere but up.
Anywhere
Your
but
rain
up.
is coming down.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yep.
Oh,
anywhere
I'm
but up.
not going
But
anywhere
they're not going.
but up.
I'm not going anywhere but up. Anywhere but up. I just want to die anywhere else. Your rain is coming down. I'm not gonna
Your rain is
drown.
coming
Gonna
down.
rise up. Yeah, I'm gonna light up a big joint. Never gonna give up. The sun is coming up to the music. Up, 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 up. Tearing
That's
up
the name
past,
of this
don't
song.
want your negativity.
Oh my god,
Don't want your negativity.
that's
Teaching
so
different
close
thoughts so
to a
you'll never
line
get
from
to
that
me.
Stella rap.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'll bet this was done by Up With People.
You know, I posted the link to it, and it's pretty
Friendship
rocking.
song.
I gotta tell you, it's
Okay.
pretty, it's
Really?
pretty damn. Yeah, it's like so it's got going.
Okay,
What the
all right.
hell
We'll
is
try to
Stardust?
incorporate that. What is what now? Oh, the show it's from?
It's they're a band apparently, but I don't know if Star Darlings is also the name of the thing that they're in or not.
It seems weird to say from Star Darlings if you're
Okay, it must. Yeah, so Star Darlings is the band, and it might also be the name of the show that they're in.
Disney Star Darlings.
Nope.
Okay. And they appear to be in a rockin' band.
Uh-huh.
Sorry,
Okay.
I got distracted by the
We
video
should
there.
have
Yeah,
been rocking then.
You won't get me any kind of stone that you throw. You
Okay,
won't
it's
get
not
me any
that
kind of
rockin'.
stone?
It's not that rock.
I'm just gonna make it gold. Oh, man, gonna make it to gold.
What?
Just gonna make it to
Red,
gold.
Sonic Adventure.
Were these
Like
lyrics
with
run through
their
a
with their
translator?
I don't know.
album sales. Their album
Yeah.
sales.
They're not.
Okay,
shooting for
yeah.
platinum. They're going for gold.
I want it to be
Right, like you throw bronze like a stone.
I want it to be like
There.
Cradle of Filth, like I'm a girl on fire, flying higher. And it's like
I'm a girl on
yes!
fire, flying higher
Your voice is gonna be so.
than you ever dream. You can try to steal my air.
You won't let that gas in here.
I'm not going anywhere but up. Up anywhere but up.
Okay, now do country. Do country.
Your rain is coming down. I'm not gonna drown, gonna rise up. I'm gonna light
Like the
up
cream.
my lucky strikes.
Okay, now do German death reggae.
It's a Marlboro man.
No. Do William Shatner Rocket Man.
Ah, yes.
Up, up. I'm finally waking up. Up. Yeah, it's time to shake it up. Up. Things are looking up. 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 Oh.
You skipped an up.
Oh, sorry. All right, somebody else take the next verse. Somebody give it all that they've got.
All right. Gonna give it all that I've got.
Turn that herd of half filter on.
Gonna give it all that I got. And when they tell me to stop, I'm a girl on fire, flying higher, living out my dream. You can try to steal my air. I'm not going anywhere but up. Anywhere but up, your rain is coming down. I'm not gonna
So hard
drown,
not to make that
gonna
line,
rise. I'm gonna light up. The sun is coming up. Turn the music up. Never gonna give you up.
It rickrolled us at the end. At the end of the song, everyone was cheering for the 5 girls, including Spirit, Storm Dancer, Chica Linda, and Boomerang.
We're clapping and cheering. Yeah.
The Spirit
Oh,
Fire
that
says
hurt.
this whole song is about space balls, isn't it?
Gone from suck to blow.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank
The
you.
5
All
girls
5
said,
girls.
happily.
That was very fun, but why did you include me?
Maricela asked Libby. She thought that Libby didn't like her.
It's better to include everyone,
That's
but I
such a like.
don't like you.
Right.
Besides, if we sucked, we could have blamed it on you, and it would have been perfect.
Yep.
Libby answered her. Lucky explained that Libby thought it would be better if the 5 of them got along, to which Prue and Abigail agreed, so Libby wanted Maricela to hang out with them.
These fanfic writers get so screwed up with their like connecting words.
Yeah.
I think that
To
was just a
which
case
Prue
of
and
the
Abigail
wrong two
agreed to.
and a missing
So,
comma.
oh, okay.
To which Prue and Abigail agreed to, comma, so, comma, whatever.
Also just kind of like you know, it was like obviously the writer was like, it's better to include everyone. That's really all I want to write on the topic. I'll just the rest of it I'll just put in passing, you know.
Yeah.
Maricela was happy to finally be included to hang out with the 4 girls and decided to try giving horseback riding a chance since she actually loves horses too.
Wow.
I mean, sure, you live in a town that's like nothing but horses.
Does she actually love horses too?
Yeah,
Because I'm
this was
pretty
the
sure that
girl-
was the whole conflict.
Yeah, she rode the bike everywhere, right? Because she hated horses.
She doesn't.
What?
Remember,
that
she
girl?
rides a bicycle around at the speed of horses.
That
Well,
And she finds
Right.
the horses disgusting. She doesn't want to
Look,
touch them.
Yeah.
or
Okay.
anything.
Yeah. Okay.
but look, the author says actually, so it's like despite what is shown on screen,
Yeah.
actually
The author is
plot
taking
twist.
some liberties with the character.
Right. Also, she could fly. This made the pals very happy, and they
Actually.
agreed to give Maricela lessons after she chose a horse to ride, but that would happen tomorrow since it's time to party. Libby was happy to be reunited with her family and that she had Storm Dancer as a friend because they'd be having so many adventures together all the time. This was just the first of many adventures, and Libby couldn't wait to see what the next one would be like alongside her sister and their best friends forever. Final chapter done. I don't own the song in this chapter or Lucky's Family. That's from Spirit Writing Free. Please review and no flames. We made it through another one. It's pretty exciting.
There are a few reviews. Great job. Wow, this is really nice. Keep up the good work. I like the plot. But why so much singing? Why? Why this? Also, why do you use songs from Disney movies? I don't understand that. I'm here for the plot.
Very Andy Rooney
Wow.
review.
Yeah.
It is. It is a great way to fill up space, though.
It is.
It is.
Copy and paste.
Do you think I should? I might leave a review that says it's better to include everyone.
Well, you know, I think you should leave a review very similar to your one on the Copenhagen interpretation. I think that
You could just copy and paste it, really.
would be optimal.
Though I have not seen Star Darlings, one can easily interpret the metaphor being damaged, some word promulgated here.
I guess we're probably going over to Ultimate Betrayal next.
Either way.
Here,
sure.
Okay. Ultimate Betrayal, Sweet Revenge, the continuation. So the to recap the backstory here, Ultimate Betrayal, Sweet Revenge was a Pokemon fan fiction that we read a lot of at the beginning of fan fiction theater. It was like 30 chapters or something.
Episode, I believe 17 since I start with 18, right?
It was like 58 chapters. And we got so invested in this story wherein Everyone in Ash's life, including his own mother, told him to give up his dream of being a Pokemon master. And he went off and took over the Silverhood region and established his own gym. And like 10 years later, invited everyone back so he could humiliate them systematically. And then it just cut off. And so we were so starved to hear more of the story that we turned to an AI bot, AI dungeon, I believe is what we used. And it first of all started with a 1-year jump. And then it had a lot of story about these necromancers and a Pokemon core. And it was so
the Pokemon
intriguing.
Shadow or the Shadow Pokemon Core.
Shadow Pokemon core, yeah. And it was so intriguing that Michael took it upon himself to write a continuation of the story based on that AI continuation. So, yeah, a lot of backstory there. But
is the picture not showing up for you? Because on mine, maybe my head's just in the way.
It is directly behind your head.
Which also, if you want to switch me out, since I won't be narrating for this one.
Okay, well, I guess I can just make you disappear. Now we can see most of the thumbnail. All right, I'm going to do this Stream Elements thing, though. We go to my overlays. Fanfiction Theater. Copy URL. Minimize.
And while you're doing that, I'll go through the cast just so so we'll have to replace Drew. We need a Mr. Johnson and a Brock.
Do you want me to get my dad to be Mr. Johnson?
I'll take one of them. Yes.
Okay.
I don't even know if Brock has any
screaming
lines.
Is Vampire Jamal in this?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, that's who I am.
I can't remember if he's in this flashback or the next one, but I believe
I work methods, so I can't just switch back and forth.
Gotcha. Okay. Mr. Johnson for sure has lines. Depending on how much we read, Brock will definitely have lines in the later stuff, at least.
Okay, I'm just switching the camera.
You'll do who?
Mr. Johnson, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
I'll put in brackets here, and if Brock comes up, we'll just deal with it at that point. Tracy, you are Ash. Besides Mr. Johnson, which you might have to talk to yourself a little bit later. No, that's not going to come up. It'll be one in the present and one in the flashbacks. Quinn, you're the necromancer aide to Mr. Johnson, as well as Mr. Davis.
Yeah, I remember that.
Jesse is Misty. I am Damien and Makoto Naegi, who's not actually Makoto Naegi. He is,
also almost all of the Danganronpa characters are in this story. Just a heads up.
Tristan is Tyler, Pikachu,
and narrator.
Kevin is Vampire Jamal. Kitty is Junko Anashima and Jade.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Okay. Chapter
Exciting.
XXI, the present. Mr. Johnson did not gasp, but still, what he did was as close to a gasp as he ever came.
Misty water flower?
He breathed.
Yep.
The orange-haired trainer replied cheerfully from the stage that had risen at the center of the field. Behind her seemed to be a goth-themed rock band?
You ready to get your ass kicked?
The present, but about an hour earlier.
By the way, Jesse, I just got to say, I really love how cheerful all your delivery as Misty is. I think it works perfectly.
Mm-hmm. It says cheerfully right there.
I was born for Misty.
That's true. It's still, it's.
I would die for Misty. The hard part had not been faking her death. No, that was surprisingly easy. Because of their distance from everyone on the boat, Ash was easily able to slide his sword right beside her, but not so close that it cut into her, Wow. Misha's picture is seeming really prophetic
It's
at this point.
It's a
Prescient.
spoiler. My
Yeah.
gosh.
I'm kind of glad we waited a week to show it now. Because,
yeah. But
Well,
not so close-
if you remember correctly, there was also like when Vampire Jamal got introduced, Quinn, I believe, was the one who was like, maybe he's just a werewolf. So it's been weird.
Okay. It it had sliced her shirt and ruined her sports bra. But was it a blast-resistant sports bra?
That's the question.
And she had bled a little from it. But that was a small price to pay to be able to work behind the scenes, unseen and unknown. She had been carrying some ketchup packets around with her just in case this opportunity arose. And when she'd grabbed onto the sword to help it move slowly away, as if it was being pulled out of meat rather than air, she'd coated the blade in dripping red liquid. Then she fell, and Gyarados... Huh? What?
No one noticed the difference between ketchup and blood.
It's a trick as old as time.
Well,
Then
you're
she
fooled
fell.
by the old sword
It's
under the
dripping
arm
red
trick. You can be
liquid,
fooled
man.
like ketchup.
Why is her ketchup so liquidy?
Then she
They
fell.
should have just used Cholula. That would have been made.
Then she fell.
Michael, your story
And
sucks.
Gyarados, hiding beneath the waves behind the ship, had rescued her. She held her breath while they quickly sped away from the ship and to safety. She found the stash of cash she'd hidden away for when their plan was unfolded, grabbed some replacement clothes, and waited for Ash's signal. Well, technically Pikachu's. Whatever was going on with Ash, it was more than just an act. He had become a Pokemon. She didn't know if there was a pathway back for him. He'd told her about his suspicions in their first talk in the hotel hallway, and that's what had prompted her to get closer to Mr. Davis. But everything else had been planned vicariously through Pikachu. The yellow rat had been secretly letting her know what Mr. Johnson was saying to Ash, and there was something big going down on the 1-year anniversary. Mr. Johnson, the smug prick, enjoyed telling Ash his plans, knowing Ash wouldn't be able to share them, and he was smart enough not to give too much away. But he was also dumb enough not to know about Pikachu. Ash told her they needed a wild card when things went down. He knew it would be at the stadium. So she'd traveled here about a week earlier and camped out in an abandoned area. But in less than an hour, she realized that someone else was here. Quickly, she discovered that the band Evanescence was also down here. They explained that Ash had hired them to play a year ago at the end of the ceremony he'd planned, but that things had sounded so intense above ground that they'd blocked the gears that pulled the stage up and cowered here for the entire past year. Misty explained to them what had happened to the world, and Evanescence helped her unblock the gears. Then she'd waited.
So I just want to say one of the
ellipses.
one of the things about writing this was that I kind of told myself, like, if you have an idea and you're like, but that's stupid, like generally if you're writing, it's like you get an idea and it's like, okay, but that's stupid, but how can I work with that? With this, I never took that second step. It was always like,
right,
okay, that's stupid, but going with it,
I feel you there, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Part 3, the present, but now again.
A little more present than previously.
Extra present. Mr. Johnson looked at her for a second, but she couldn't be certain because of the sunglasses, but she was pretty sure... and she couldn't be certain because of the sunglasses, but she was pretty sure he rolled his eyes at her.
I have just been doing a terrible job of looking at the chat, and I apologize. I got so wrapped up in my own writing. I was like, God, I'm a genius. But Spitfire said, luckily the bleeding didn't attract sharks. I assume Gyarados can outrun sharks.
Yeah. Well, that was
But
that
Sharpedos
comment
would be
was made before
Sharpedos.
I managed to get to the Gyarados part of the sentence. So
And Sharpedos are significantly faster than Gyarados. So.
They're like actual shark torpedoes, okay? Look them up.
Yeah.
it's true. We've got a line here. This is Mr. Johnson.
Yes. Well, I'll admit, you showing up, and with musical accompaniment, no less, is fairly impressive. That makes no difference.
He gestured towards her.
Did you think to perhaps sway me with a song? From where I'm standing, you're just more grist for the mill. Do you have any sort of plan at all?
Sway me with a song, perhaps a selection from Frozen 2 or Superbook. Yes.
Superbook. My evil heart is melting at the sight of the Bible.
Hosanna, sing Hosanna.
Superbook, Superbook.
Misty moved forward a little bit, then spread her hands, revealing Pokeballs barely contained in each. Like, is this like the magic ball trick? Like between the fingers, like is she multiplying them?
Yes, sure.
She let them all
Stupid,
drop
but go with
around her. Pokemon beginning to zap into existence.
Plan?
She asked, quirking her head.
I'm not big on plans, but I've got a lot of balls.
Okay, play the laugh track, please.
No, wait, I can't do it this time because it's not on.
Spitfire says,
let me
just
see if this
bursted
works.
out of her hands. Just
Damn it. It's not playing.
Damn.
Oh.
Why? The honk worked earlier. Now I don't know what's wrong. We don't have a laugh track. I'm sorry.
There you go, Michael. Bastard.
Part 4. Back to the fake death on the ship 10 days before the present, just for a second. The bag with empty Pokeballs in it that Ash tossed overboard was, like the ketchup packets, something he carried around in case this opportunity presented itself. 8 months ago. Mr. Davis stood at the head of the small underground briefing room. His severe haircut and by-the-numbers suit made him look like he was straight out of Men in Black, as always. Ash felt nothing. Mr. Davis explained to everyone what Men in Black was, and how cool and funny a movie it was.
Thank you.
Mr. Davis explained to everyone that Misty Waterflower was to be the new team leader. He gave Ash a meaningful look once he'd announced it, as if to give Ash a chance to disagree, but Ash stayed quiet and stared straight at the empty whiteboard behind Mr. Davis. He felt nothing. Mr. Davis continued.
Well, because your first mission was so difficult, we've decided to increase the size of your team. We're pulling in other recruits from other teams in hopes that you'll be able to work more strategically. If everyone would follow me.
Mr. Davis opened a door and walked through. Ash, Brock, Tyler, Damien, and Misty followed. Greninja and Delphox walked behind Misty and tried not to catch Ash's eyes. He returned the favor. He sensed Jade on one side of them and Pikachu on the other. They both remained quiet. Brock muttered.
We need a Brock. Drew's not here.
I hope we're gonna get some.
I'll
girls.
do Brock.
Kevin just did it.
Kevin did it. Okay. Wow. Screw you, method actor.
He kind of
I hope
talks
we're gonna
like
get some
this,
more-
right? Or am I?
I hope
mixing
we're
him
gonna
up with-
get
Yep.
some more girls on our team.
Damien tried for a high five, and after a frazzled look, Brock finally half-heartedly gave him one. The other room was hangar-sized, enormous, with a domed ceiling. For all Ash knew, it was a hangar. He had no idea at this point how far above or below ground level they were. It's as if his future was slowly condensing into the moment right before him. Nothing less, nothing more. He was like a shark, intent on the next moment and surviving it, and that was all.
And chasing Gyarados to see which was faster.
Right.
We already went over this.
There's no such thing as a shark.
Yeah, sharks aren't
What are you
real.
And a Gyarados.
Neither are Men
is,
in
I mean,
Black.
come on.
Sharks aren't real. Sharpedos are
There's
what
no
you're thinking of.
A small part of him cried out in horror at this thought, at this untethering of his usual long-term goals and desires, but that part had the earth of a freshly dug grave thrown into its mouth on the daily now. Wow.
That's
Daily now.
That's a kink and a half.
In the other room stood a large gathering of people around his own age, most with even wilder hair than anyone on his side of the room. One young man with sideburns and skin the color of heavily creamed mocha stood off to his side, apart
his
from the
hair?
others. His hair had a wicked widow's peak, and he
Okay.
wore a cape with a high collar over a brocaded vest, a silk blouse with flaring wrists, and pants more expensive than Ash had ever seen in his life. The cape was black on the outside, red silk on the inside.
Spitfires
I
like
just like
all
the
the
idea that
configurations.
Ash has been pricing pants, and these are clearly the most valuable ones he's ever seen.
Yeah.
Do you think if he goes to like type his credit card information in online, he just types Ash, 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 Ash,
Ash, catch him.
Ash Ketchum, Ash Ketchum?
Ash Ketchum.
Yeah.
Is this an actual
werewolf
Danganronpa
somebody,
character,
right?
or is this
That's
vampire?
No, I
Jamal?
think it's Vampire
Jamal.
Jamal.
Okay, that
Jamal.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Mr. Davis began naming off those in his group, then introduced those on the other side.
Oh, god damn it.
Yep, you get to do it this time.
I can help you. I know these names.
Please welcome to the team Akane Owari, Anige Yonaga, Kyoko Kirigiri, Junko Enoshima, Byakuya Togami, Koto Neigi, Mihiro Koizumi, Maki Harukawa, Mikan Tsumiki, and Misaki Asano.
Amazing.
Never
Yes.
again.
Yes.
Did much better than I did on
Great
that. The My Name is Celestia Ludenberg version. Mr. Davis pointed to the lone young man and said, Mr. Davis?
And this is Vampire Jamal.
Vampire Jamal raised his hand in a slight wave and murmured,
Hey.
Sorry, I was still in Brock. Hey,
perfect. Damien nudged
so
Brock.
Spitfire says so. He's a werewolf. A werewolf who's just a vampire fanboy. I think he just went with his name. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
his
you get
parents
named.
typecast him from birth. They named
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
Vampire Jamal, and it's like, well, what else am I gonna do?
Right.
yeah, like I knew this kid in school named Dick, and he always wore turtlenecks. So
It's the same concept, only dumber.
hey, you had to know what I was talking about. It wasn't that blue.
Damien.
And he shaved his head and just took a knife right down the middle.
See, now you're
Right,
taking it too far,
right.
man.
I'm dwelling.
Damien nudged Brock and whispered to him,
I bet you I can get Junko Enoshima in bed before you.
Brock rolled his eyes and whispered back, Brock? Brock!
Kevin, you can't just
Oh,
half
yeah,
take Brock.
Okay, I have literally forgotten who is who already. I can't
I
tell
can
any of these
tell.
people apart. But you're on.
But yeah, you're on.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Whatever. I'll do anything. Anyone.
They sniggered and shook hands. Now, is sniggering different from snickering? Is there
I picture sniggering being a little bit more like rather than like
a little bit more like the
Fiendish.
dog.
yeah.
That dog, yeah.
I just learned its
The dog
name
with bad
recently, and I've already
intentions.
forgotten it because it's not Snidely Whip Muttley. Thank
Muttley.
you.
Yeah.
Muttley. Yeah. He was in like a dozen Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
He was a Hanna-Barbera reusable character.
Mr. Davis.
There you go, Misha. Kevin
yeah.
told you. Got you the history there.
Yeah, it's like we didn't even need to interrupt the narration to address it. Yeah. Mr. Davis moved to an unoccupied area of the room.
I'll leave you grouped to mingle for now. Tomorrow, we'll begin training together.
Behind him, lights clicked on, and a large banner of singular letters on string fell down. Pokemon Shadow Quartillion, they read. There was a small dance floor and some benches where groups could talk. All the benches had Kool-Aid and finger sandwiches on them. The opening notes of Eric Clapton's Wonderful Tonight began squealing from small speakers set on chairs in corners. Nearly everyone began to shuffle over to the benches. What's that?
I was hoping we would get Eric Clapton's Wonderful Tonight playing from small speakers set on chairs in corners.
Yeah.
Like, Michael answered my
paste in the lyrics. You're wasting our time with all this prose.
Misty spoke briefly to the Pokemon around her, then approached Ash.
Are you sure about this?
She asked.
Yes.
Ash grumbled. He felt Jade's hand slide into his own beside him. Pikachu's smoke output intensified. Really puffing it. Spitfire says, shouldn't all the lyrics be pasted here? To Wonderful Tonight?
Yes.
Yeah. Missed opportunity. Misty crossed her arms.
Because if I take over, I'm taking over for real. I just want to make that clear. I'm not going to be an asshole to you, but I am going to lead. Are you ready for that? Really?
Ash nodded.
They're just talking about dancing.
You're a water trainer, Misty. Water can change the shape of the world. Do it, Misty. Erode the crags of this woeful reality and shape us something new. And don't forget what we talked about.
Stay out of my basement.
Her face was legion. It contained multitudes of emotions.
All in pig form.
She chewed her lip for a moment, then shook her head, apparently accepting this as the new reality. She looked down at Jade.
Honey, every day you look more and more like...
Whatever her next words were.
So I just gotta, Spitfire says, maybe it was for the best that Ash lost the ability to say things like that. I tried to, was it Spitfire who said Ash was very extra in this story? I tried to carry that over from the original, like how Ash was just, like he was obviously in his own, I'll rip the arm right off of you and beat you with it, right?
Yeah. It's true. He was the kind of person who could say that in a voice of deadly calm.
I tried to make him as melodramatic as possible.
Whatever her next words were cut off as Ash was hit with a blinding headache. He whined in pain. This is your line, though.
What? What?
What
Oh,
is
he
this?
winded.
What is this? Some kind of psychic attack?
He managed. He dropped to a knee and realized he'd squeezed Jade's hand so hard she'd yanked it away from him.
Is this Jade?
I think this is still Ash.
Yes.
I told you I'll work with you. Just stop it.
Misty responded, but her words came out so distorted Ash couldn't make them out. He gave out another yowl of raised... Yeah, and he gave out another yowl of raised her arms. Gave a head shake of confusion, then walked away. The pain started to recede, and he could hear her mutter,
Time to go try and tell all these strangers apart, I guess.
Pikachu stood in front of Ash and slapped him hard. Did he have a stool on him? Or is just
No,
slapping
Ash
his
is down on
shin?
his knee, remember?
Oh, okay.
You walked away on one knee.
No, Misty walked away.
Oh, okay.
It's I don't know why it did that. There were a couple places that copying it into or uploading it into fan fiction did that, where it like deleted 2 words, and I caught the others, but or at least I think I caught all the others, but that one I missed it.
Weird. Yeah, no, it definitely does say that he walked away after he gave a head
Well,
shake
no,
of confusion.
it's so the line should be he gave out another yowl of pain. Period. She
Misty raised her arm. Wow.
You know, she raised her arms, gave a head shake of confusion, then walked away.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, and I say I noticed that it did that like 3 times, and I missed that one apparently.
Weird. Okay. Ash barely felt it. You good? Pikachu asked.
I think so.
Ash said, and swallowed down the little bit of vomit he tasted at the back of his throat. Hey, we can do this. We can get through this. Pikachu chewed hard on his cigar. Ash looked over to Jade, who was shaking out her hand still, and watching him warily.
Is this Jade?
This is Pikachu, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. Spitfire says he probably barely felt it because Pikachu is like a foot tall and can't slap very hard. I mean, sure.
Unless he learned double slap.
I don't believe Pikachu learns double slap. Pikachu does, however, learn the move slam. So,
Could have slammed him.
yeah.
Can Pichu learn double slap?
We follow a lead. We do what we have to do. And I know you. At some point, you've got some long-term plan that'll kick in, right? We do this thing till we don't do it to don't do it no more.
No,
Doing
no.
to the do no more.
Do we do
Then
the do no more?
Only take one more pass at that. We do this thing till we don't do it no more, then. Ash looked back at Pikachu.
He was going to tell you you're the narrator.
Yeah.
His vision blurring. Sorry.
Then we die.
He whispered and began to sob silently.
So did it also leave out that the reason he's sobbing silently is his electric slide came on? Or...
I mean, it's implied, right?
Okay. Yeah. I assumed.
So this and the next chapter are fairly short. It's just 606. I know that we've got a new Steve Plank. Quinn, is it? How long is it? Is it about the same? As
It's about 500 words longer than the previous one, so not terribly long.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds like we could probably fit in another chapter of this then. If it's yeah.
Spitfire says this is normally, or this is where you cue an Evanescence song. No, we're not there yet. All right.
Well,
they're still trapped underground.
Yeah.
No, they're above ground now. Remember?
Well, in the present,
that was a
but 8
flashback.
months ago.
Yeah, but they're basically walking skeletons. They've been underground for a year.
Yeah, well,
But assumedly there were
at that
there
point
were a lot.
they were only 4 months into their underground stay. Right?
Oh well,
'Cause it was
they're
8 months.
probably
No.
pretty hurt.
No, they're a year into it in the present.
God damn it, we're not in the present, Michael.
Right, but they weren't in the past. This is I think Spitfire's saying
that
the
was
beginning-
8 months ago.
Yes, so and so. My gosh.
Oh, I thought Spitfire was talking about the beginning of chapter 22 where we're in the present.
No, Ash sobbing silently is where
Gotcha.
you put the
That's
Evanescence
when you
song.
Yes, you're okay. Misha backs you up, and I get it now. I'm so focused on where we are at the moment. Yeah.
I'm gonna order an industrially sized ball of red twine so that I can put on my wall the timeline of this damn thing and figure it all out.
Like
Oh,
Trevor
hey,
from It's Always
Misha just
Sunny.
made a face and it appeared on the main screen.
Yeah, I did fix that before we started the
Okay, well, good.
ultimate betrayal. All right, we're ready for chapter XXII, the present. Ash's grin grew bigger. It worked. I could smile again. She was here. Even if everything failed, they at least made Mr. Johnson look stupid and were a thorn in his side for a little bit longer. Misty's Pokemon spread out on the field, angry looks in their eyes.
This is Misty.
All who can!
She shouted.
Water gun the shit out of that cage!
We're doing cage cleanup now, huh?
Mr. Johnson said, raising his hand.
Not so fast.
Ash felt the chill touch of a Sig Sauer against his right temple and a forearm slip around his throat.
Anybody
I
want to guess?
wouldn't, honey.
He can actually tell the difference. He can tell the make of a gun just by the feel of the.
They all just have Sig Sauers. So it's not Ash saying that, it's the person with the gun. Anybody want to hazard a guess as to who might have the gun in his temple?
It's
His
Vampire
mom.
Jamal.
Mr. Roper.
obviously.
Yes, it's Mr. Roper.
Calling
Um,
Misty Honey would imply that it's Mr. Davis, but didn't he have his brain blown out?
He did.
So he probably
That doesn't
faked his
mean
death with
anything.
packets as well.
Wait, isn't this
Keep-
the-
Keep in mind they're in a cage, so it's only the surviving members of the Shadow Pokemon Corps at this point.
Greninja. Because we haven't seen Greninja yet in this story.
Professor
Greninja is assumedly with all the Pokemon that Misty has.
Well,
Ash's
that's what makes
mom.
it a twist.
It's Ash's mom.
We'll just leave it a mystery for now.
Okay. Ash sighed, of course. He's always sighing. You should have guessed he was going to sigh.
Or silently sobbing.
9 months ago. Ash was basking in the half-light beneath the palm tree on the small island at Resort Area. A sketch pad on his lap, trying to concentrate on an
Inchoate.
inchoate. Okay, we'll learn a new word today, as we often do. Reading this,
Use that in a sentence. Oh wait, I guess you
sure.
did.
Okay.
It's trying to
Ash was
concentrate on an
basking in the
inchoate
half-light
feminine-
beneath.
Yeah.
It's
An
not a
in-
very gnomic word. Barely formed, like just taking shape.
Okay. On an inchoate feminine shape that refused to coalesce in his mind. Oh, yeah. Inchoate, like refusing to coalesce, you know?
Oh,
When he sensed another presence near him, he looked up. I was Greninja in the old series, so I'm just going to keep doing it, I think.
Here's Greninja for you, by the way. We're pretty excited about.
Yeah, we're
wanting
going to
Greninja
set
to
up
show.
why he's going to betray Ash 9 months later. Now you understand, Greninja said. Ash looked up at Greninja, as well as Delphox, whose foxy eyes wouldn't meet the dark-haired trainer's eyes. Ash said nothing. Now you see why we've been hidden.
Oh, sorry.
This
sorry.
is Delphox?
I thought, yeah. No, this is Greninja. You're right. Sorry.
Okay. Now you see why we've been hidden. We could sense the danger out here after the change, after what we did. Delphox still kept his head lowered as Greninja spoke. Was it shame that kept his eyes averted? Now, is this still Greninja? Is it Delphox?
Yeah.
Okay.
I follow the typical English rule of like if it's in the same paragraph.
This isn't Miradero Mystery. We're not having a dozen different. I know it probably sounds strange after all the training we've done, but we're not really fighters. In the ring, sure. Where the stakes are passing out and going back into a Pokeball, absolutely. I trust you, and I'd fight any one of those battles for you. And I think we'd win most of them. But you saw what happened to Chansey. Ash swallowed. Somebody be a girl. Do it. Is there any chance you could do that as slightly more coherently? Shouted Golduck. Echoed Gyarados beside him. The island was becoming quite crowded. Delphox finally spoke, though it was much more plaintive than he normally sounded. So somebody do a more plaintive than usual Delphox. Anybody?
No,
Tracy.
I have no idea what these things are.
Me again?
Yeah.
You guys.
I
haven't
can
been
do it
allowed
if you
to think for yourselves that long. You're still just feeling a meaningless subservience to your human master.
Shouted Golduck. Greninja. You got that part down.
Yeah, but I have no idea how to force actual words to do that.
Yeah. Greninja breathed in as if to begin a long harangue. But Ash interrupted.
Guys, it doesn't matter. I'm not interested in leading anymore. It's fine.
But Ash, Greninja countered, we're here to tell you we've changed our minds. We'll follow now. This evil has to be fought.
I agree, and I'll fight it, but no more leading. All I do is get people killed.
His voice had started to rise enough that he began to fear people at the resort might hear him.
People in Pokemon!
What the heck?
It rose enough.
Oh, okay, yeah.
People and Pokemon.
Is the giant dragon Pokemon Gyarados?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything dies.
The giant dragon Pokemon said.
Isn't it better to die for a reason than while skulking in a corner?
Everything happens for a reason, bro.
Everything happens for a reason.
Ash had a level gaze with the majestic creature for quite some time.
Probably. But if you want a new trainer, or master, or whatever, you should just go back to Misty.
Are you gonna just hand your balls over to Misty now?
Delphox asked. Golduck snorted, but quickly comported himself to a more serious demeanor.
If all of you want to fight,
We want to stay with you, Greninja said. But we have to fight.
Then I'll hand you all over. I'm sure she'll be fine with it.
Miss Misha says, I think in response to the are you just gonna hand your balls over? We need another laugh track for that one. But sad.
They all looked at him with various degrees of sadness and regret. Wonder if we could make our own
Make our own
Quick
of all
Tracks
the
laugh
goofy
track.
laughs.
Yeah.
Quick Tracks laugh track?
Yeah. One by one, they disappeared into their balls, except for Pikachu. From the beginning, and now here at the end, Pikachu. Ash's oldest friend rolled the cigar around in his mouth, then finally looked up at Ash. I'm staying with you, the electric rat said slowly but surely. I'm staying. Sorry, do Ash's line again.
You shouldn't.
Ash said.
I'm not going through some bout of depression or whatever. I really just don't want to lead or train or anything.
That's fine, Pikachu answered. I'll do my own thing. I don't care. But come what may, we've always been friends. No place I'd rather be than by your side. I'll come out when needed. Ash swallowed and tried to say something. Thanks, buddy, or something else along those lines, but his throat wouldn't open far enough for them. He died.
Pikachu had to perform an emergency tracheotomy. It was brutal.
The timeline is all fucked up.
Pikachu nodded, then disappeared back into his Pokeball.
Time the fuck out! When does Pikachu ever go into his Pokeball?
He doesn't even have a
No,
Pokeball.
you can't. Pikachu would never, especially at a time like this.
Oh yeah,
go into a
Pikachu would
Pokeball.
never. This is entirely out of character.
You
My
can't
God,
smoke
Michael,
cigars
did you
in a
do
Pokeball.
Any freaking
This is-
research?
This is setting up for the reveal that he's an imposter.
Oh, okay.
I honestly don't remember putting that line in there.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, you should be ashamed.
I should.
The secretary
I
put it
apologize. That line is non-canon.
All right,
it's
section break. Ash made his way over to the bar. Tyler was sitting on a bar stool. Ash began to sit down to the left of him, but Tyler held out a hand. That seat's taken. Ash looked down and realized there was a full glass of grape juice there. Ash sat to Tyler's right and ordered a cranberry soda from the Magikarp flopping around on a counter behind the bar. The Magikarp stopped wiggling on a washcloth in a futile attempt to wipe down the bar, then flopped over to the sodas and sat there breathing heavily.
Okay, look, they are in resort area. I read up on resort area. That's where you first encounter the Magikarp and can get it. So I decided, yeah, they made him work at the bar. Okay, I did a lot of research here. Okay.
Okay. And you know that they're known for flopping. That's good.
Yes.
Takes him a while, Tyler explained in a dead voice. His eyes were dead. Takes him a while. That's as dead as I can make that particular voice.
I was waiting to see how you would do this section since
His
Tyler
eyes
is in
were
a dark
dead
place
too.
here.
Okay. Ash heard a clicking noise when Tyler picked up his own grape soda and sipped from it. It was the sound of his bared pinky finger bone hitting against the glass. Tyler continued to stare straight ahead.
You seen Misty around?
Ash asked. Tyler slowly shook his head. There was a sudden splash behind them. Tyler whipped around, knocking his soda over. Ash looked too, but saw it was just Jade diving into the pool. For some reason, he checked the weight of his backpack on his back to make sure he'd remembered his sketch pad.
I totally missed it. Spitfire said earlier, Pokeballs are no smoking areas. There you go. There's the
Yes.
answer to why Pikachu jumped into his Pokeball. Too much
that-
smoke in the area.
Okay, sure.
Sure,
Tyler
whatever.
had his hand on his hip. His gun
No, wait,
drawn.
that's backwards. That's backwards. That's an argument against him
backwards.
going in there. God damn it. Sorry.
It is.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to get into it, but you figured it out. Tyler had his hand on his hip, his gun drawn an inch or so out of its holster. He was breathing heavily. Finally, he resheathed it and turned around. Can I get another here? He yelled at the Magikarp. It seemed to flop more determinedly. The untouched grape soda at the seat to Tyler's left remained inviolate.
Violet.
Damn you, word a day calendar!
Damn you, phonics! The untouched grape soda at the seat next to Tyler's left remained inviolate.
You doing
it.
okay?
Ash asked after a moment. Tyler slowly shook his head again. The Magikarp tail whipped a couple of sodas their way. Amazingly, the correct soda landed in front of each member of the Pokemon Shadow Corps. Ash took a sip in silence. They both watched the Magikarp give a huge sigh of relief, then slowly flop on the counter. Break.
So does everybody get the grape soda beside him reference?
No?
He's got to pour one out for his old buddy Kel.
You're close. His twin sister, when they used to spar together in the original story, she would always win, and she would say, "That's another grape soda you owe me."
Wow. All right, good callback. Okay, so Tyler was the one who was like pushing his Pokemon too far. Was that the?
I can't remember if he did that or not. He might have. And then
Okay.
that's and that might have been what made them talk about Damien. Damien only gets a brief mention in the original one. Though Damien is an actual Pokemon character, which I did not realize until we had read the other story.
I see. Okay.
Why does he have skin on his finger? Is that part of Pogi? Part of
Have
his-
what now?
Oh, the
His
skin.
bone.
Yeah, the finger. Sorry, I'm distracted by the dog.
I'm guessing we'll learn about that in the next flashback.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's not canon Pokemon.
Right.
I don't think so. Yeah. All right, section break. Eventually, Ash found Misty in the halls of the resort itself.
Here.
He said, handing over all the Pokeballs he'd collected. She looked down at the bag full of them, then looked up at him, shock coloring her face.
Ash, I can't.
She protested.
You can and you will.
Ash said with steely resolve.
You were wrong about me. I was able to become the best in that world. But this is a different world now. I don't know if you can lead us out of it, but I sure can't. I mean, even you have to admit, I was pretty pathetic as leader back at the Silverhood Training Center.
He sniffed, parroting her own words back at her. He proffered the bag again.
That is also a direct line from the original Ultimate Betrayal, Sweet Revenge, that she says when they're trying to convince him to quit.
Gotcha.
Ash, I'm just a water trainer. Nothing more than that.
You're just a flight attendant.
Ash waited a moment, then said to the electric Pokemon by his side,
Pikachu, can you give us a moment alone?
Sure thing, boss, Pikachu responded. I'll be at the pool.
Electrocuting everybody there. I'll catch up to you later.
Get it? Catch him up.
Catch up.
Ash waited for him to waddle away, then gazed back at Misty.
Look, I I can't tell you all the details right now,
he said.
but I've been overhearing some things that make me suspicious. And I need to be able to do some research without our mystery sponsors watching my every move. I'm gonna have to go to a dark place, which isn't that difficult with everything that's happened. But I need to go there and gather some intel. It's not going to be easy on either of us, but I have a plan.
What sort of plan?
We die.
Misty asked. I'm
The less
hoping
you
this is
know,
going to
the
cross
better.
over with Garth Marenghi's Dark Place.
The less
But I
you
know it's
the
not because
better.
this is the past. Go on. Sorry.
All I can say is that you might have to die for it to work.
Then I don't like this plan.
Misty shouted. Ash hissed. He shoved the bag towards her again.
Here, take this and listen.
Stay a while and listen. Misty took the bag and listened to Ash's plan. Her eyes grew and her mind expanded. When Ash...
That's an issue. They should get that checked out.
They did lots
When
of
a-
drugs.
Brain hemorrhage.
You can drill a hole to let the pressure out.
Right, right.
Yeah, that's
Trepanning.
yeah,
Trepanning.
yeah,
Trepanning.
trepanning.
When Ash was finished, she muttered,
Trip Banning.
Dakota Fanning. Sorry.
This is crazy.
she looked Ash in the eye.
But I guess we live in a crazy world now, huh? Oh man.
I wish my clown
Okay,
horn
I'm
still
in.
worked.
It's a crazy life.
Let's see. I have to die. Okay.
I guess
Sounds like
it's a
win-win
crazy
to
world.
me.
I'm sure you thought of all the other possibilities. But
Any last words? It's a crazy world.
It's a mad, mad,
It
mad,
is crazy,
mad,
Bob.
mad,
It can be hard to find the time to die.
Especially if you're James Bond. No time to die. I just don't have time. Ash sighed, then gave a curt nod before turning around and marching to his room. He relaxed his facial muscles and rolled his eyes at how meaningless it all was.
I do that every day, buddy.
So in No Time to Die, is it just like a thing where he's just trying to commit suicide the whole movie, but he's
Just
just
trying to schedule
involved
it.
in the
has to keep
meetings?
moving it.
Spitfire
Yeah.
says it's the logical follow-up to Ain't Got Time to Bleed.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Now we should have time for one chapter of Steve Plank, The Before Times. Oh, it
Chapter
opened
3.
That's good.
in the
Rivals.
background. Weird.
Let's go.
Yes. Chapter 3,
Are
Rivals.
you gonna go?
Now, do we have our cast list written down for this one?
I know
'Cause I-
I was Nibbles. Tracy
Right.
was Steve.
Right. I was Steve's boss, whose
Yeah.
name I don't remember.
Buford
Buford.
Picklefeather.
Okay. Okay.
Kitty was Sally.
And
Dolly Parton.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
All
Oh,
right.
don't worry, Dolly
I'm
comes back in
nobody.
this chapter. So.
Yes.
All right. Come on, Steve. Just a little longer. Then you can rest.
Nibble shouted at Steve, providing him with a modicum of encouragement. Shouts of
Plank, plank, plank.
echoed throughout the gym as the denizens watched Steve enter hour 4 of his marathon plank. Sweat stained his Lululemon Dry Sense hoodie and at-ease jogger pants. The hoodie, a pale green color, was minimalist in design. Its lightweight fabric made it exceptionally breathable.
What?
What?
Which part is... because I want to make sure you understand what this Lululemon Dry Sense. Oh, okay. Made it exceptionally breathable, but still warm enough to enjoy an early morning jog. It was excellent at wicking away the moist perspirations emanating from his pores, but even its mighty quick-drying material was no match for the torrential downpour of the salty substance oozing from his glands. The at-ease joggers were the peak of exercise fashion. Sporting a crushed velvet look, they were also a perfect blend of light, breathable material and sweat absorption, the likes of which have been seen in few places in this world. And how can we forget to discuss his shoes? How can we? I want to know. The brilliantly designed black spike sock Christian Louboutin sneakers completed the outfit with gusto. Having the appearance of a sea urchin strapped to his feet, or perhaps a grotesquely misshapen porcupine, the artisanally crafted shoes had about 200-inch-long black spikes covering the outer fabric, appearing to have been sculpted from God's own mind, out of the same clay that had created Adam and Lilith. I feel like you got this description from Google. Those divinely imbued footwear architects have truly created not a shoe, but a cathedral for foot worship. But not like the kind you see on those niche websites.
By the way, those are actually shoes that exist.
Right.
Yeah,
I was about to
Nike shoes.
They
look 'em up, but
literally
I
have
can't
spikes
copy
on them.
It like I say, this description sounds like it's coming from Goop. Gritting
Okay,
his teeth.
Hold
Oh,
on.
okay.
Yeah, Misha says these were pants that even Ash would be impressed with. And Spitfire asks, did Tarantino write this part?
Oh,
About
because
the
it's all about
worship.
foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. Took me a minute. Gritting his teeth, Steve looked at the stopwatch beneath him. In the time it took for me to overly describe his ridiculously expensive and high-end workout outfit, which cost him roughly $1,531 before tax, he had entered the last 15 minutes of his fifth consecutive hour in his plank. He had a core that was second to none, it was true, but his strength was beginning to fail him. Unsure if he could make it, he said,
I'm unsure if I can make it, Nibbles. None but my strength is beginning to fail me.
Okay. So, yeah, really bad time for the robot voice to come back and also skip like 6 or 7 words in the middle.
What happened?
It's because it's like catching up, the buffering.
Yeah.
It's,
Robot still.
Yeah.
Still robot.
yeah.
Yeah.
But now he's a drunk robot. I don't know if that's better
He
or worse.
sounds like those drunk Jeff Goldblum ads.
Yeah. 3 pieces.
How about now?
You're good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yay.
Okay. Okay. I'm unsure if I can make it, Nibbles. It's true that my core is second to none, but my strength is beginning to fail me.
I know, buddy. Just a little bit longer. We're going for the record here. Think of how good it will feel to lie perfectly flat with no motion on top of Dolly tonight.
The words lit a metaphorical fire under Steve, as Nibbles lit an actual fire under Steve.
Okay, I
Nibble.
just got to point out that the spikes aren't inch long. Okay, they're little spikes.
Whatever. They are spikes, though.
Finally got a picture.
And I have to point out that the world record for planking is 8 hours in 1 minute. So he's
actually-
a long way from it.
It's the gym record, and actually, the world record, I looked it up, was 16 hours and 15 minutes and 15
16
seconds.
hours?
Yeah, it was done by
Human.
like a 62-year-old Marine veteran or something. I don't know.
The
With lockjaw.
as far as those
And
spikes,
rigor
the author
mortis.
has taken some creative liberties with the shoe.
Yeah.
I'm pasting it in the peanut gallery. Oh. But they
Nibble.
are $1,200. So
Yes.
Of course.
All
It's
right.
like that white shirt from Kanye. Like,
It's
right
that
over.
and only that makes them good.
Yeah.
Is it just, are they designed so that nobody asks you to play soccer with them?
I don't know. Like they look horrible.
Seriously, you wear them on the bus and then put your feet up on the seat next to you, and then you don't have to sit next to anybody.
If you're paying that much for a shoe, you're not riding the bus.
It's true.
No, these shoes,
maybe
yeah,
could just buy the bus
no,
lodge.
exactly. These shoes are the reason I'm riding the bus. I had to sell my car.
Nibbles
Also
was an
sleep on the bus.
Nibbles was an excellent trainer. I now just cannot see the word excellent as an adjective and not in my head here. Excellent trainer. As well as a woodsman, capable of building a fire nearly anywhere. Knowing that Steve needed extra motivation besides the thought of planking all over Dolly, Nibbles quickly got a small bundle of kindling put together under Steve's belly button. Using his flint and steel as though he was Mulan in that one battle in the mountains trying to fire a dragon rocket into a mountain to cause an avalanche to defeat the charging Hun army, he set the kindling alight.
Dude, what the hell?
Steve growled at Nibbles, baring his teeth.
Just trying to give you a little extra incentive, pal.
Sorry, I was still muddling through that last sentence, trying to figure out what the hell it was. Does that actually happen in Mulan?
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
All
The
right.
animated one. Does it happen in the live action?
I don't know.
No one
Probably.
cares.
No.
I figure if the live action Dr. Dolittle can have him like pull an accordion or whatever out of a dragon's ass, then sure, light a dragon rocket. Despite Steve's protestations, the fires, both literal and metaphorical, helped him achieve his 5-hour plank. Dripping with sweat, he stood up and stomped out the tiny fire Nibbles had set. Nibbles gazed up at him, a proud expression adorning his tiny, adorable features.
I knew you could do it, Steve. That's a personal best and probably a record at this, Jim. You did your great-grandfather Ignatius Solomon Plank proud.
Still a long way to go to beat his 16-hour and 30-minute plank, though.
Steve mumbled. While it was true that he was the most powerful plank since his great-grampy, he was left unsatisfied. It was as though he'd had an excellent meal at a Chinese buffet, thought that he had eaten enough, left, and then an hour later he was hungry. He would not be satisfied until he had become the plankest plank to ever plank.
As Dolly would say, every opossum you yeet from your shed means one less opossum you have to yeet later. Just keep taking steps forward, and eventually you'll have good old ISP in the dust. Or you'll leave good old ISP in the dust. You'll see.
Nibbles replied.
Now let's hit the showers. Dolly said she was going to attempt to remake what she made the other night, since the readers were left on a cliffhanger as to what the secret food she was making was for dinner was. My God.
Not so fun, is it?
Let me just light a fire under you. Look better. Nibbles, you've got to stop breaking the fourth wall.
Maybe, but I'll be damned if it doesn't have a mildly comedic effect. Author's note, I do not share Steve Plank's views on the yeeting of opossums.
Good. Good.
What the
It was about to come down on you hard. Steve had to admit the shower helped him recenter himself. Hands on the cool tile in front of him, the icy water of the gym shower snapped him out of his doldrums. Nibbles, who could afford the extra 25 cents added to his membership dues every month, enjoyed a shower so hot that he used some of the water to brew a pot of chamomile tea. Aside from the burns that adorn the unfurred patrons of the gym locker room, Steve didn't think he was missing out on much. Sure, the icy water always made his muscles contract like a tape measure suddenly snapping back into its metallic housing and gave him Charlie horses you wouldn't believe. Those damn price gougers at the Planetoid Exercise would have to pry the extra $3 a year out of his frigid, dead hand. After the shower, Steve cinched a small bath towel around his waist, highlighting his incredible abs and his manhandle. Striding from the stall, he went to his locker, jiggled the lock a bit before finally managing to get it open. After a cold shower, that's pretty impressive. Dressing slowly, he put his watch on and checked the time. He wasn't expected back at home to meet Dolly for dinner for another 3 hours. Just enough time to stop by the bar and grab a drink with Nibbles.
Hey, Steve, good workout today. When are we expected at your place for dinner?
Nibbles inquired, his asked question mirroring Steve's thoughts.
We've got a few hours. Want to go grab a drink? I could use a fuzzy navel after the annoying day Buford put me through.
Sure, let me fluff out my coat with the hairdryer, and we can head out. Who wants to be the gruff bartender in Leatherman gear?
Welcome to bar. What can I get you guys?
The gruff bartender in Leatherman gear asked as he polished a martini glass. That's weird. Both of our stories had stopping at a bar to get a drink tonight.
Yeah.
I'll have a fuzzy navel. Nibbles, what would you like?
Steve turned his head to look at his buddy on his shoulder.
I'll have a pint of your finest tonic water, Pally.
Nibbles said after scratching his chin. They sat down at the bar, and Steve pulled over a bowl of pretzels. They happily munched away on them, glancing up at the TV. A rugby match was playing. Steve signaled the bartender, who handed him the remote. Flipping through the channels, he finally found something to his liking. Say yes to the dress. As he and Nibbles watched while sipping on their drinks, the bride-to-be was harangued on all sides by her loving family members, insulting various parts of her body. It was trashy, drama-filled TV, but Steve and Nibbles were here for it. The girl's mother repeatedly bashed the way each dress made her hips and butt looked. Her sister railed her on the back fat. It was brutal.
Oh, we have a new voice.
This is Maricela.
No, well, the equivalent.
Is it?
Yes.
All
It's
right.
Miss Buttercup Sweet Cheeks.
All right.
Okay.
Still have an addiction to basic bitch programming, Plank?
Said a snooty voice behind the pair, tearing their eyes away from the horrific vivisection of the bride-to-be by her family and their ridiculous obsession with physical beauty. They turned to see a tall, extremely well-dressed woman with sunglasses and a cigarette holder. Her lips were red, which wasn't really a surprise since she had lipstick on. The hat she wore had an incredibly wide brim. A long coat covered a well-maintained woman's blazer and pinstripe pencil skirt. Homegirl looked like she was right out of a film noir. It was actually really fucking cool.
This is Steve's line.
Aquifer, aquifer, aquifer. If it isn't Miss Buttercup Sweet Cheeks. That's the second highest rated journalist in the Tri-County area doing this evening. Here to try and discover the link between drunkenness and watering the bushes with urine.
Steve asked. Chuckling was heard from the bartender, as well as Nibbles. I was waiting for bartender and Nibbles to... Okay, never mind. Moments passed. Steve, it's moments passed! Steve put his hand up in the direction of Nibbles, clearly wanting a high five. Nibbles got a running leap, but instead of nailing the high five, slammed into the hand with his whole body, because he's a gerbil and short.
Very funny, Plank. But if you read my work, you'd know that I discovered that last week and it was published 3 days ago. No, I'm here to congratulate you on your latest piece. It was printed in the late edition. Such a daring exposé of the seedy underworld of underwear. I suppose that means I can ditch these.
Sweet Cheeks said. She stepped out of her heels, bent over, and stepped out of a pair of comically large boxer shorts with red hearts on them. Picking them up off the floor, she tossed them to the bartender, who used them to replace his dish rag, which was almost certainly a health code violation.
Well, that's certainly disgusting.
Nibbles said, taking a sip of his tonic. Tonic had been Nibbles' favorite drink for years. The main ingredient in tonic is how is that pronounced? Quinine?
Quinine.
Quinine, an old remedy for malaria. In 1820, it was extracted and isolated from the bark of the cinchona? Any ideas?
I don't know.
Cinchona tree. Bark extracts were common household remedies for malaria for nearly 2 centuries prior to this isolation.
Citation needed.
Jesuit missionaries introduced it to Spain around 1636, bringing it over from the New World. The World Health Organization lists it as an essential medicine. In the present day, it is commonly used in tonic water, a popular mixer for some alcoholic drinks, primarily the appropriately named gin and tonic. Bitter lemon mixers also use quinine. If you look behind the bar at bar, you would likely find a soda gun with a large Q on it, which is commonly used to designate the tonic water due to the prominence of quinine in the mixer. Its bitter flavor mixes well with gin. That doesn't imply that mixer believes in a conspiracy theory
Thank
run on
God.
the internet. Yeah, for my own part, I rather like gin and tonics. I think they're a great cocktail.
This was the Ben's Encyclopedia Britannica presents Quinine and You.
You come here just to take off your underwear? What's up, Buttercup?
Steve inquired.
I just said that.
What's the
wrong. You
removal
didn't come
of
here
box-
just
oh,
to take off
yep.
your underwear.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. What's the removal of boxers among enemies?
Said, God, that's such a metaphysical question. Sweet Cheek said.
But as
It's a
usual,
koan in some of the more advanced Zen temples.
But, and it's a big but, as usual, you are correct. What do you know about this?
She pulled a large ornate C out of her handbag and placed it on the bar.
Nibbles, do you remember those weird guys who accosted us in Chapter 1? Didn't they have something like this attached to the robes?
Steve asked. If you don't remember that, I encourage you to return to Chapter 1 of this story and read it. It doesn't take that long.
It's like those old Stan Lee notes that he'd always put.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Where did you get this, Sweet Cheeks?
I don't want to get too far into it, but many Bothans died to get this information to me. It's from an organization known as CHAIR.
She shifted in her seat.
It's an acronym for the Cooperative Hoping to Acquire the International Regime. They vowed to sanitize the feet of the world, or the fools earning extreme termination.
Steve had a puzzled look on his face.
Why would you bring this to me, Buttercup? We're rivals. You hate me.
While this is true, this is too much for me to handle on my own. I need your help.
Cut. In the passenger seat of Nibbles' Ferrari, Steve turned over the trinket he'd gotten from Buttercup in his hands. His past experiences with Miss Buttercup's sweet cheeks made him wary of trusting her. But something about her story rang true, especially when added to the experience he and Nibbles had had the other evening. Those nuts in the robes threw him off, and it didn't seem like the usual kind of thing Buttercup would lie about to provoke him.
What do you think, Steve? Can we trust her?
Nibbles asked as he rolled up to a stoplight.
She's always had something up her sleeve. Remember the last time when she got the school to vote you for prom queen, and then when they had brought you up on the stage to accept the title, she dumped a bucket of pig's blood on that her boyfriend had acquired? Oh, I missed an on you. Either that or
You missed a
deleted it.
few things, but that's okay. We're all drunk here, Quinn. It's fine.
Right.
She's a pretty sketchy character.
Drunken flatulent.
Nibbles, you're thinking of the climax of the Stephen King novel Carrie.
Oh yeah, but she did steal your parking space that one time, and also runs competitive stories to yours.
It was true. Steve still remembered the time that he'd arrived in the Walmart parking lot, turned on his turn indicator to indicate that he was turning into a parking space, and then a bright yellow smart car had darted into the space before he got the chance. When he pulled up behind the car to protest the shittiness of the action, Miss Buttercup Sweet Cheeks stepped out. His world shattered that day. What an actual bitch. God damn.
I know she's been trouble in the past, but I don't know, Nibbles. Something about her story rings kind of true.
Well, if it is true, we need to be careful. And if anyone in this world qualifies as feet, it's us.
Yeah.
Author's note, I do not share Steve Plank's fragile sense of self that can be shattered by someone stealing my parking space.
I call bullshit. I'm friends with you on Facebook.
Dolly, we're home.
Just in time, Sugar Dumpling. Y'all two wash up and I'll put dinner on the table.
Even Nibbles took off their coats, galoshes, kimonos, clown wigs, and washed up in the rain barrel that Dolly kept in the front hallway as a reminder of where she came from. Steve and Nibbles had protested at this. Yeah. Steve and Nibbles had protested at this odd bit of home decor, reminding her that they lived in one of those towns that made it illegal to collect rainwater for a stupid reason. But Dolly had petitioned the governor. Plus, she was a country western music staple, and few could resist her down-home teachings. After they'd cleaned their current layer of city filth off of them, they walked into the dining area. Dolly's down-home decorating touch was on display in here as well. A fire sat in the middle of the room, ringed in large, heavy stones. Roasting over it on a spit were 3 handsomely cooked squirrels, as well as a boiling pot of something that Steve eyed suspiciously.
Dolly, what's for dinner?
Steve asked loudly, hearing her rummaging around in the kitchen.
Squirrels and lima beans.
Again? I thought you were making something special.
Steve called back.
She's like, I wanted to make y'all chipmunks roasting on an open fire.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Oh, wait, sorry.
Dolly had an awkward silence before.
Wait, well, excuse me, princess. I thought everything I cooked was special. Well, if y'all don't want that, I'm gonna tell y'all what my daddy told me. My daddy told my deranged brother Earl. Take off the tap shoes and get back into the basement.
But Dolly, I hate lima beans.
Y'all never said nothing before.
Dolly, what the hell did I say about using double negatives in this house?
Oh, hush, it ain't no thing, darling.
Dolly said as she wandered in from the kitchen, rolling logs out for the 3 of them to sit on. In her hands was a set of dishes that looked like it had come right off of the cattle trail or a hillbilly tinker's cart. Carefully removing each squirrel from the spit and putting them on each plate in turn before spooning some boiled lima beans on the plates.
How was work? Getting anything done today?
Dolly asked.
Well, I said something that gave Steve a look that was priceless, so I decided to get a picture and went on a ridiculously long series of events that went off into several strange tangents. Then we hit the gym.
Nibbles replied.
How long did y'all manage to plank for today?
Thank you. I missed that, you. I apologize.
No worries. I got you.
5 hours.
Yeah, you did good. Anyway, after the gym, we had a little time left over, so we went to bar to knock back a couple of drinks. Guess who we ran into there?
Clark Kent.
No.
Peter Parker.
It's you again.
I said Peter Parker.
Me?
No.
I think when
Peter
Kitty talks,
Parker?
it's clipping.
Peter Parker. Peter Parker.
Peter Parker?
Peter Parker.
No.
The Lord.
Dolly, would you just say who so I can get on with my story?
Y'all saw The Who? I love their song, the theme from CSI Miami.
No. It was Miss Buttercup Sweet Cheeks.
This, Dolly clapped her hands over her mouth. She knew as well as anyone the story of the time that bitch had stolen Steve's parking spot. Buttercup had a reputation in this house.
What on earth did she want?
She wanted my help.
Said Steve, staring past his charred squirrel into the fire.
I don't know if I should get you involved, though, Dolly. It sounds like it could be pretty dangerous.
Steve, y'all are my everything. I don't give 2 shakes of a mountain goat's chin fluff if it's dangerous. I want to help.
Steve swallowed, choking slightly on a slightly overdone part of the squirrel. He hacked and coughed before spewing the chunk into the fire, which crackled merrily at the addition of flesh to its pile of fuel. They needed to be careful about doing that, because when a fire gets a taste for flesh, it becomes harder. it becomes harder and harder to control.
All right, Dolly. Here's the shtick.
Author's note: I do not share Steve Plank's hatred of lima beans.
You should.
How
No,
dare
lima beans
you,
are
sir.
delicious.
Okay.
All right.
I'm convinced.
I'm leaving.
All right. And we're just about at 8 o'clock. Yeah, perfectly timed. Do we miss any zingers in the chat there? Dolly's down home decorating touch is her side business. Yes. And Misha says, I never thought I'd feel like there was too much historical context. But we've hit that point.
Fancy shoes.
Uh.
Shoes are made for feet. Feet are things you walk on.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, those shoes, they look like they should be made of ferrofluid or something, and they should
Spitfire says they look like the underside of a car floor mat, which
Yes.
Yeah,
that
they
too.
do.
Maybe it's for like deadbeat dads that really don't want their daughters dancing on their shoes.
Yeah.
Christmas idea for dad.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for joining us for Fanfiction Theater. We do this every week if you're new. 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. And on Sundays, we...
Spitfire says they prevent homeless people from sleeping on them.
Yeah, exactly. Do movie riffs on Sunday nights. Pre-show starting at 6:30, and then we start the movie at 7. Are you giving this to me? Okay.
What are we doing this Sunday?
Another Furious.
Furious 7. We did Fast 5 2 nights ago, and we're going to do Furious 7 on the 31st, I believe that is. Yeah.
It all going according to plan. Bye.
All going according to plan.